Let's go. They leave you there because they don't want to mix with you. That was what made me the president of Nigeria of University of Lagos Students Union. I waged a war against the others faculty students.
Wow.
I was the first education student to become that to hold that position, and perhaps the last too.
Okay. Still staying with education, would you subscribe to the autonomy?
That's perhaps why the ASU sometimes go the way they go without listening to any pleading from anybody. They are not being treated well at all. Autonomy is what should be given. The universities, university administration rests on the vice chancellor, the registrar, and so on. These people too don't consider themselves as teachers. They think they are in management, and before they attend to the grievances of teachers, it will be too late. The labor, let me recall the last debacle with the Minister of Labor, when teachers went on strike for almost 1 year, and the labor minister was not perturbed at all for that. How can that be? Education, the bedrock of any development of any country. You neglect it, you neglect the future of the children, the future of the country. I think the university should be given autonomy. You asked the first question that is education being given the right priority? No priorities are accorded to education in this country now, because the budgets always have education as maybe almost 4-5% or something, which is not good enough. The universities themselves today, when we were going to university, we were not. There was no jam. There was nothing. You just applied to universities with your credentials. You may be admitted into several universities, and then you pick what you wanted. It's not so now. Everything is under the government now, and they call the shots. The Minister of Education, the State Minister of Education, and so on. Depending on what you mean by autonomy, to me, I think the universities should be autonomous. Let the government give them enough fund, to fund the faculties. What are we doing with all this? Forgotten what I want to say now.
Okay, you are in your 80s and you use an Android device. It's a rarity, just in case you don't know, sir. Not many people of your age can use an Android device. What they know how to do is what we call the palasa phone. Pick up the call and drop the call. But here you are in your 80s and you're using an Android phone. And for me, I must really commend you. I'm almost suspecting that you're on Twitter. Well, I know if you're not on Twitter, you're likely to be on Facebook. But we'll leave that aside. With regards to education, education has now moved from the classrooms. With this device in your hands, you can actually get educated with a lot of things. As a matter of fact, some universities in the US actually put their lectures for free on YouTube. Our educational sector seems to be stuck in the mud. And I'll give you an example. During the COVID-19 pandemic, cannot hire the internet because they were not prepared for it or something. And that is in Nigeria, where virtually every teen or every youth who's in the university has access to an Android phone. What do we need to do for our educational sector to move from the stuck in the mud position it seems to be in now and upgrade it to what the world standards of education is at the moment, so that we are not left behind?
First and foremost, the gadget you're talking about must be made available to students.
Many of them have it. Their parents have made it available.
A host of others don't.
Okay.
A host of others don't. You are talking of, you're praising me for using this. Are you sure that I'm not doing just using it to take calls and call people like this.
Chief, should we open the phone?
No.
Chief, should we open the phone?
Well, I think there should be a reorientation. There must be courses in this for teachers and for pupils themselves or for students themselves. Not everybody can use this. What you have there is a lot of things here that are very confusing too. But it contains a lot of things. You may not go to school and get educated. Be made available.
Let's take a look at the difference between being literate and being educated. Many people confuse the two. But I know that my grandmother, who used to be the Yoloja of Mokala in Ghana, will say to me then that meaning
it and a few other things, but people in government are literate. They are not educated because they don't know the value of education.
You would not believe it. We have less than 3 minutes to go.
Exactly, Kemi.
Wallahi, I feel like we could go on and on for another 1 hour.
Exactly, but before we go,
yes,
if you had the opportunity, I know that a lot of young people are listening to us. What will you tell them in just maybe a minute or two about?
I still have one question.
Okay, let's take your question first.
No, finish.
Okay,
finish.
So just talk to young Nigerians about how do we get this country moving? What experiences should they learn from? What just what is your take to them? Just talk to them.
My advice to them is that they should stop being the future leaders of the country. Most of them now are the leaders of the country. A lot of governors are under the age of 40 now. A lot of legislators at the Senate level, the House of Reps level, are below 40. So let them do what they want. Let them fashion the life they want, the people they want for themselves.
No.
And those of them sitting on the fence outside should join them. Politics is the way to go if you want to advance your own privileges. You have to join them. Don't stay aloof. You really have to be there before you can do what you want for yourself.
Okay, Chief, we are about to leave, but because I'm from Ogun State, I know that my Ogun State people will not forgive me if I don't ask you this question. So I want to take that responsibility very seriously. You are the Babanla Adini of Egbaland and the Baba Adini of Ijemo Abeokuta, Ogun State. What are the responsibilities that you hold with those titles, and what have you done with them thus far?
In the Muslim community, there are two sections of leaders. The Alfas take care of the religious part of it. The other invited chiefs are called Ologuns. They are in the administrative sector. As Baba Dini, I am the head of the administrative section. If there's any problem in the community, Muslim community, if there's any misunderstanding, they bring it to you to educate. That's exactly what I'm doing right away.
Fantastic. And it's a good place to hang it this morning, even though I would have loved to talk about your very famous daughter and the publisher of the Point newspaper, Dr. Yemi Kolakpo. But as it is, time has actually told us that we have less than...
of Grace Children's School too.
Grace? Oh, she went to Grace too?
Of course.
Oh, wow. You can imagine. No, that really came home.
You're actually blushing.
I am let me tell you the truth about Grace. Mrs. Oshinowo, who was the founder and well, not our headmistress, but the founder of Grace Children's School at that time. She will discipline the students, but even discipline the parents. More. So you can't bring a child to school late and think that it's the child who gets punished. You the parents, you know, I was saying.
But today, if I hear, anyway, it's such a pleasure having you on the program, sir. And we wish that we would have this rare opportunity again in the near future to bring you back. And Kem,
yes.
What more can I say? Thank you so much for your interventions, and also thank you for being part of the show. It's a special interview session on Citizen 93.7.
And many, yes, it's been a pleasure to be here. Of course, being with my tag team and our studio bantering partner Lawrence Umwete is always a pleasure. And we must wish Baba well. We want to thank you very much once again for your time. We wish you many more years ahead.